So sadly, on June 23rd, somebody filmed a tourist carving their names allegedly into the Colosseum with a key. Looked like they were carving their own name and then possibly their girlfriend or fiance, her name as well, along with the date. Looked like they were using a key or some sort of metal object to do it. But anyway, he was filmed doing it by another tourist. And we can take a look at the video here real quick in case you haven't seen it.
Serious, man?
So after watching that, I mean, clearly the guy, all he could do was just turn and smile. Just had no response to the person filming him. Clearly, he knew what he was doing was not right, in my opinion. I mean, I assume that gut reaction was just to kind of turn and laugh. Maybe he didn't understand him. Maybe he spoke a different language. I don't know. At least at the time of this video, he hasn't been identified. So not sure who the person is. Maybe he didn't understand the person filming. I don't know. It'd be tough to, I assume, not understand by turning and looking, even if you don't speak the same language, and view the person's body language. Clearly, the guy filming was unhappy with what was going on, as he should be. I just don't understand the guts or just the ability to think that I'm important enough to deface or damage this historical landmark, wherever it may be, Italy, anywhere in the world, whatever. If you're touring somewhere, you have to respect the culture, the people that came before you, the history of the place, all of the above. Not only that, you have to consider that other people are going to come after you and they're going to want to see this too. And you need to preserve it, leave it better than when you got there. Essentially, don't leave trash, don't leave a mark. Come in and leave and be respectful of the place. People like this are why we have signs that say fire's hot, don't touch. If you can't control yourself and be respectful of your surroundings and others, it's going to ruin it for everybody else. I mean, they may have to have mandatory guided tours. I've personally never been to the Colosseum. I'm not sure how it's handled now, but if everybody needs to be supervised, it's going to diminish the experience potentially. I don't know. Maybe it could actually be beneficial if you have a guided tour. That actually sounds better than just kind of aimlessly walking around looking at things. I mean, I'm sure just being there is a great experience in itself, but having a tour guide, I'm sure, would be that much better. So maybe it'd be positive in the end. But anyway, here's a article from The Guardian addressing this this issue. It says, outcry after tourist carves name on wall at Colosseum in Rome. Italian police are on the hunt for a young tourist who carved his and his girlfriend's name into the wall of the Colosseum, sparking a widespread conundrum. The English-speaking tourist, so apparently he does speak English, so maybe he did hear the person filming and understood him. But I'm not sure, since he hasn't been found yet, if that's the case. But the English-speaking tourist was filmed by an onlooker using keys to engrave Ivan plus Haley 23 into the wall of the 2,000-year-old Roman amphitheater on Friday. So the clip that it's alluding to here is one that we watched in the beginning, uploaded on YouTube, and has taken off and has gotten a lot of attention recently across social media, as it should. I mean, this is a disgusting act this person did. Yeah, so the culprit still has not been identified officially, although there's strong suspicions that his name is called Ivan. Well, or maybe it's Haley, I guess, in this case. But if caught and convicted, the suspect faces a hefty repercussions, a fine of at least 15,000 euros, which I believe is about $25,000, maybe a little less, $24,000, somewhere around in there. and prison time of up to 5 years. So the cultural minister of Italy said it's very serious, a sign of great incivility that a tourist defaces one of the most famous places in the world, the Colosseum, to engrave the name of his fiancée. Well, I totally agree there. And apparently now Italy believes it's a fiancée, not a girlfriend. Who knows? And the picture here, it doesn't look like he's wearing a ring. Doesn't necessarily mean he's married, or not. But not sure who the lady is with him. Also, the other thing, she's just standing there. She could have, stopped him or said something like, don't be an idiot. What are you doing? I'm not sure the situation there. Maybe she's not able to do that. But in any case, at this point, hopefully she would be able to come forward, identify who this guy is, help people out. Because in the end, I mean, she's just as part of this as he is, even though she's not actually scratching on the wall and defacing it. But she's essentially an accomplice here by allowing it. I mean, I shouldn't say that she was allowing it, but I don't know the circumstances, but hopefully she would be able to come forward at this point and help Italian police figure out who this guy is. The article goes on about the tourist minister, called for Italy's culture and history to be respected as it should be, as all cultures and history should be respected around the world. I mean, this applies to all cultures. When you're, as I said before, when you're visiting a different country, even if it's your own, I mean, you gotta appreciate history, appreciate and learn from it, understand that other people after you're going to come and want to look at this as well and appreciate the history significance of it. And they're not going to want to see your name carved into it. I don't know. Let's see here. So it goes on. The man was criticized by fellow tourists. I understand that some of them want to leave their mark. I don't understand. I disagree with that. If you feel like you have to leave your mark, you should not be allowed to go in there. In fact, if they identify this guy, Italy should ban him from going to these historical locations. Clearly, he cannot go there and control himself. They continue. Saw September 2020, a 32-year-old man from Ireland was allegedly caught using metal points, carving his initials into the pillar. So this happens all the time. A German girl, 14, was doing the same thing. Director of Colosseum said there appears to be a lack of education. Definitely a lack of education. There's a lack of something else there too. Associated Press also has an article that says American who filmed tourists carving name into Colosseum dumbfounded as hunt for culprit intensifies. So similar here, the message is saying that the guy allegedly carved in was Ivan plus Haley, 23, a little different spelling in this case. So maybe it's a little tough to read exactly what he carved in there, but the video that we watched is posted by Ryan Lutz, according to AP here from California. Posted it to YouTube and then Reddit as well, and that's where things started to take off, as rightly it should. This is definitely a thing that causes anger. One part about this that I find also a little it causes a little anger is that Lutz apparently tried to get the guard's attention. He tried to do the right thing. Talked to the guard here. It said he talked to the supervisor as well. Neither of them did anything, even after he tried to identify and offered to share that video that we watched at the beginning. So that's a little disheartening that the guard and the supervisor chose to do nothing at that point. Not sure the circumstances there either. There could have been some sort of language barrier or something like that couldn't quite get the message across. But it's too bad that they couldn't identify him at that point in time. So it looks like he said he posted the video the next day after he kind of calmed down. And said he did it just because it looks like carving your name seems like a pretty selfish act. Well, I totally agree here. Hopefully they're able to find him. It goes on here as well that there was others that have done this also, in addition to the one that the few that we just identified in the Guardian article. They're saying that in 2014, a Russian tourist was fined 20,000 euros, received 4 years suspended jail sentence. Up top here, it looks like 2023 shaping up for a record for visitors. Okay, so there's a ton of visitors coming in. There's a lot of people there. I'm sure that it's just getting packed. People are doing crazy things. It seems like maybe the Italian authorities need to maybe cut down on the amount of tourists that can come in per day. Some sort of like ticketing system. I don't know if that's what they have now. If they do, maybe reduce. I'm not, suggesting how to fix this, but I'd be curious what your thoughts are on this. The other thing that seems interesting is that there's a history of this going on. Clearly the $20,000 euro fine with a suspended jail sentence is not dissuading folks from doing this. It seems like maybe increasing the penalty in some way might be another tool to curb this. But unfortunately, it continues to happen. News.com.au also has an article. Tourist faces $24,550 fine for carving his and his girlfriend's name into the Colosseum. Similar thing here. Describes the video that we watched at the beginning. Shows a clear picture of them actually carving the name into the wall there. So it's unfortunate this happened. I don't want to cause any harm to somebody by, calling them out here, but I definitely disagree with what this person did. I hope that they do face, the appropriate consequences for it. I hope they learn from their mistakes. And I hope that Italy and other historical places are able to crack down on this, curb it, so that we can preserve this history and, for future generations, and to keep it for as long as possible. I mean, these buildings are several thousand years old. Maintaining them is costly. I know that the Colosseum is not cheap to maintain and preserve. So things like this are only damaging and detrimental to that effort. I hope that they're able to get resolution here, and appreciate you listening today. If you agree or disagree, let's keep the conversation going. Please let me know what your thoughts are. And thank you for listening today.